So what's going on, guys? My name is MrDalekJD, and today we're going to be talking about an interesting topic with Black Ops 3 Zombies and Treyarch specifically, and whether we should be disappointed or not with their latest Zombies Community Challenge. Now, before I jump into this, I'll just make this very clear that I'm not targeting anyone in particular when talking about the opinions for and against being disappointed with Treyarch or not. I'm just going to lay everything on the table, talk about why people are upset, talk about what's going on in case you have no idea what's happening. Just overall give you an opinion that hopefully should be one which we can all resonate with and sort of agree with, and you know, going forward also look at how Treyarch may see our reaction to this as well. But just want to make that very clear. Also, really importantly, I'd love to know your thoughts and opinions on this down below in the comment section as well, so feel free to leave any thoughts you have down there as well. And if you enjoyed the video, give it a thumbs up as well. But anyway, jumping straight into the nitty gritty details, as I'm sure you're all aware right now, starting on Friday, Treyarch released a new Zombies Community Challenge which involved us consuming 10 million gobblegums within the Zombies mode of Black Ops 3. Now, it sounds like a lot, but across all platforms, it's actually quite a plausible thing to do if there's around about 250,000 players playing Black Ops 3 Zombies during this time period, and they probably eat about 4 or 5 gobblegums in a game. They play about 3 games. You could possibly get it done with about 250,000 people quite quickly. And at the time making this video, we've already got 25% of the way there. But it's not the actual challenge that people are upset about, but people are upset about that as well. But they're more upset on the rewards that you get from this challenge. And as I'm currently making this video, at 25% of this challenge complete, we've just unlocked double liquid divinium. And when the challenge released on Friday, it was data mined in the game and brought to the public attention that the rewards aren't exactly as exciting as Treyarch made them out to be. Now, don't get me wrong, it wasn't like Treyarch really hyped up the rewards, but they did word it in a way which made it sound a lot more exciting than the actual end result. So, going through the rewards, I'm sure you guys have already heard about these by now. Seeing how the elite rewards are actually aligning with what's happening in the game, being the first one being double liquid divinium, which is indeed what was in the leaked images, it goes to show that the rewards are 100% genuine and they are not as cool as we expected them to be by any means. So the rewards for the challenge were secret mystery boxes, which were extra special rewards, and the biggest reward being a set of ultra rare gobblegums. But in total, all the rewards is double liquid divinium, and you unlock one set of 3 common gobblegum, then you unlock a set of rare gobblegum, and then finally a set of ultra rare mega gobblegum. And you can't really go wrong with just playing the game and unlocking some free rare gobblegums, which, you know, are beneficial to your gameplay, but it's the actual challenge itself which just seems very, very backwards in my opinion. And by consuming gobblegums, so that means, you know, using the gobblegum which you already have perhaps spent money on or have earned in game, you're going to be using those to then earn a small fraction of those back. You can kind of see where I'm going, where it's just very backwards. It just doesn't really make sense. And to me, I feel like Treyarch have never really gotten a Zombies Community Challenge event right. Like 8 Days of the Undead was a bit of a shambles. Then there was the Headshot one, which was pretty good, and we got some camos for that. But they weren't camos which we hadn't already seen in the game before. They were just your Pack-a-Punch camos, just being able to apply to your weapons in the weapon kits. And now with this, you're getting simply some free gumballs, when like back in August, if you logged into the game, you got a whole set of ultra rare megas for absolutely free for doing nothing. So by doing this, which is, you know, quite a lot of work, you're actually getting very little reward back. So it's understandable why people are upset, and I do see that this is a very backwards thing, but we have to look on the other side of things, okay, the other length of the spectrum within this challenge here. And as disappointing as the rewards are, there are some positives to look at with this. One, the fact that Treyarch are actually updating the game in the first place. They didn't have to do this. They didn't have to add anything new into the game at all. They could have just left it as it is and not given us any free rewards. So, you know, on that side, you know, it is appreciated that they're still caring about updating the game and adding in some sort of community challenges, no matter how disappointing it actually is. I think one of the most important things to realize with this is that Treyarch shouldn't be focusing on Black Ops 3, and clearly they aren't, because they're currently developing a little game called Black Ops 4, which is coming out in October, and we are all super excited to hear about that game, and of course for that game to be one of the best Call of Duties we've had in years, because Treyarch have never really created a bad Call of Duty at this point, and I would much rather them spend all the time that they possibly have right now, because there isn't really a lot of time left. Even though there's 7 months until the game comes out, in developer time, that is not long at all, especially when you think they have so many things to get ready for, such as the main reveal, E3, Gamescom, there might be a multiplayer beta, there's going to be a Zombies reveal. All that stuff needs to be ready as soon as humanly possible, and I'd rather them spend time developing all that stuff and having that finished, finalized, and absolutely perfect, than for them to waste time creating a big deal on a 3-year-old game. And, you know, I'd much rather them spend more time making new stuff than them to spend a lot of time on a new event. And as much as this event seems a little stale, it probably didn't take a lot of time away from Black Ops 4 development at all, which is a very good thing. No one really knows the time frame of when they were creating Zombie Chronicles and how long it took. Jason gave hints in September of 2016 that they were making it and hard at work, but if you think about it, Zombie Chronicles probably took a little bit of time away from the development of Black Ops 4, and that was an absolutely gigantic piece of content to add to a game which is already, you know, a few years old at that point, so I didn't expect them to really add anything else new in. Now, as cool as it would have been, and you know, we theorize about this with the mystery box stuff, we assume that perhaps they were adding new weapons into the mystery box rotation in the maps, which honestly would have been absolutely amazing, like honestly a godsend. I would have put probably weeks if not months of new like time to put into the game. But if Jason Blundell said in an interview that it took far too long in QA testing just to add the M1911 and the AK-74U in to make sure that it didn't break anything on any of the Zombies maps, then, you know, that just goes to show that there's probably no way in hell that we're getting any sort of new weapons added in. And honestly, I think everyone will agree here, we're actually really lucky that they're still actually, you know, updating Black Ops 3 and adding something new into the game, as small as minute as it is. It is a really disappointing community challenge, but we can't complain, because in the end they are at least giving us something for free, at least, even if it does involve you using things which you might have spent your money on. It's like a double-edged sword. There's both good and bad points about it, and it is disappointing. It's undeniable that this has at least brought people back to playing Black Ops 3, and that is something. I'd rather that than there be no new updates to the game at all between now and Black Ops 4. And knowing how Treyarch work, they probably are planning on some other updates to add into the game at some point in the next few months, which could relate to hints and teasers towards Black Ops 4. But I think this challenge did what its purpose was set out to do. The main focus right now for Treyarch is not updating Black Ops 3, it's focusing on Black Ops 4, and this challenge was to bring a tiny bit of light back to Zombies, and there was no way in hell that we should have expected them to add new content or weapons to the game at all, especially considering how old the game is. Now, I mentioned earlier that Treyarch are obviously watching and getting our opinions on feedback on this, because it's without doubt that they're going to be doing this sort of stuff more regularly, more often, and in bigger ways when it comes to Black Ops 4 Zombies. Jason said he is very aware of, you know, seasonal events and updates, and loads of Call of Duties are having these quite often now, but Zombies always seems to get a little bit neglected. Sledgehammer Games really brought some fuel to the fire by actually updating the old maps and adding in new Easter eggs with the Leprechaun Zombie, which was really cool and gave you some camos. Like, that is actually really damn sick. And while I don't expect Treyarch to do that on Black Ops 3, with Black Ops 4, they're probably going to do a lot bigger things. If we look at Black Ops 3 and its Zombies community challenges, they've all been very lackluster and very dire, but it's obvious that Jason has big plans for these to be a much bigger thing in the future. So you could almost see these in a way as like a beta test to really see the most basic version of a community challenge and what Treyarch could do to make these even bigger and better when Black Ops 4 comes around. I don't want you guys to sit there and think that I'm simply fanboying on Treyarch or trying to defend them for this challenge being disappointing, because I've told you guys, I can admit this is not the greatest of challenges, nor is it the greatest of rewards either, but I do think that, you know, we did expect a little bit too much from this challenge, and, you know, going forwards, we really shouldn't expect them to do anything or update the game in any huge way, because Black Ops 4 is their prime focus right now. I think Treyarch do have it within them to update Black Ops 3 Zombies at least one more time before the game comes out, with at least something a little bit more exciting and a little bit new and fresh that isn't just giving you guys some gobblegums. You know, calling cards were cool but a little bit meh, but the camos is probably the nice medium. If there's some way they can think of making something new to add as rewards for doing something that isn't calling cards and isn't gobblegums, but is something new, like a camo, but something a little bit more exciting, that would be, you know, really cool to see. But of course, they're obviously watching, they're taking in feedback, and they're going to rework these to be even bigger and better in Black Ops 4. Comparing updates like these to the updates that games such as Fortnite get, which are every single week, very frequent, is a little unfair, because Fortnite is a game which is constantly being developed on. It's an early access game. It's still not like a fully fledged completed game. It's always being adapted, new stuff being added all the time, which keeps it fresh and amazing. When it comes to, you know, comparing that to Black Ops 3, the game's not being developed anymore. It's completely finished from what I can see anyway. There's no new content being, you know, worked on or developed for that game, because they're solely focusing on Black Ops 4. It's a little bit of an unfair thing to compare it to, but I think going forward, Call of Duty needs to really follow suit in the way that Fortnite updates the game very regularly, because that keeps players constantly engaged, and I feel like Zombies could honestly go down this route. It could honestly be the absolute king. But I guess only time will really tell what Treyarch have got up their sleeves, really. This event probably took them like a day to, you know, fully like set up and organize, but they've obviously got bigger and badder things planned for Black Ops 4. But I'm going to stop the conversation here. If you agree with me, let me know in the comment section. If you disagree, let me know why as well. Drop the video a thumbs up, share it around, and subscribe for more Zombies content like this, and I'll see you guys very soon.